If you're a dance or fitness instructor who wants to grow your classes, boost income, and turn your passion into a real business, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll share the exact strategies, lessons, and truth smacks from building a thriving belly dance fitness brand. We'll dive into what actually fills classes and keeps students coming back so that you can build a profitable instructor career. So, lace up those sneakers and pull on those dance shoes. It's time to build the business you deserve. I'm Orit, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. Hello, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. I'm Orit, your host, and again, we have another fabulous guest. Her name is Soraya Darty, and I met her way back in the day. And I remember we met at a fitness convention, and it was, I think, Sarah City Workout, I believe, in San Francisco. And I think you just had a child, right? Your second child, possibly, right? And she was taking my Sharky the Belly Dance workout presentation, yeah, and and then the rest is history. She's like my Arab sister.
Right.
Yeah, and she's right next door. She's from Lebanon, as I'm Israeli, and so let's get to it. Hello, Soraya.
Hello. How are you? I'm glad to see you, and I'm very excited to be here.
Good, awesome. I'm excited too. So, Soraya, first I want you to let us know about Raq The Barre. What is it?
Yeah, Raq The Barre is a nationally accredited bar fitness belly dance technique training method. It's also an accredited program so that anyone, whether you're a certified professional or not, knows that I have done my due diligence to have it reviewed by professionals to give it the green light that it is a safe and effective training method. So basically, if you're unfamiliar with bar fitness as a training method is really designed to tone sculpt your entire body from top to toe in a low impact training method. So you're thinking small movements, big gains.
Yeah.
So today, Raq The Barre is also an addition to many other wonderful bar fitness programs that already exist out there.
So, how different is Raq The Barre from, let's say, Bar 3?
For sure. So most bar programs like Bar 3 are going to continue with the same training method. And I really want to reinforce that. So you're holding a position. Let's use, for example, a wall sit. Okay, so you and I are going to do a wall sit, and we're just going to look at each other while we're doing our wall sit with our best alignment. And at some point, our muscles are going to begin to tremble because they're going to be fatigued and they're going to say, okay, I can't take this anymore. So that's how this program is a little bit different is you're taking a basic movement such as a wall sit and a variety of others, and you're holding these positions for X amount of time to really create some fatigue within the muscles, particularly thigh series. So your quads, your glutes, your inner thighs, your outer thighs. So for me, provides a perfect opportunity to start to seamlessly layer in essential belly dance techniques. But a lot of my students aren't belly dancers. And so they want the movements to really loosen up their hips, help them to gain power in their pelvis, really help them to realign. So a lot of my students will come to me afterwards who are not belly dancers and say things like, oh, wow, I did some of these in my rehab exercises. So I say this is a prehab. I say ancient movements, modern medicine.
That is so cool. So, if someone who does a bar workout regularly and then they come into your program, is it going to feel way different for them?
No, not really. All bar programs have a different vibe. All like at my home gym at the Kingsbury Club, we have several bar instructors, and the members love going to the variety of bar classes because it's still taking the same training method. Again, that's what I'm trying to reinforce is this what this training method actually is and how can you use this training method, but kind of bring your vibe to it. A lot of bar programs are ballet inspired. This is just traditionally, what most people are familiar with. And that's why Raq The Barre is special, is because it really is educating my students, particularly, about the untapped potential that you can enjoy with your belly dance techniques. Why hold a ballet hand position while it's great for grace and lengthening and lifting when you can bring in joint articulations through your hips, your torso, your arms, so many untapped, but you have to really know it in a way that you're educating your students, especially if they're not dancers. So if
Mm.
you're going to ask them to do a shimmy, you had better be prepared to explain the why. It's like it's not. I'm not just asking you to shimmy. There's a why behind it. So yeah, so it's very much backed in understanding what this method is and how it can be a solution to your modern day wellness needs.
They're getting so much more than in a typical bar program.
Yes, I think so.
That's amazing. It's
There's
so
room for everyone, and
yeah.
all bar instructors I've presented at World Bar Fitness Summits, and it is fun to see the different types of bar programs that really
Ah,
have emerged from the
ah,
season. So there's really kind of an evolution of bar, which is very interesting.
nice. So, Soraya, what was the moment when you said belly dance and bar? What sparked that idea?
I think this is important to understand. I've been in the fitness industry for now 25 years. So I teach aquatic fitness, muscle conditioning, dance. I pretty much teach everything. So I was offered an opportunity by my director to teach a bar class. And at that point, I hadn't done it. And that would probably be around 2011, I'm going to say. And so I started to investigate it and learn a little bit more about it. And I watched my one of my colleagues teach a class and I took it. And so I went back to my boss and I said, I would love to teach bar on the condition that you let me develop my own belly dance bar program,
Nice.
because I know that I can do this, but layer it in a way that's authentic to me, but in a way that I know will be helpful for our members. And so it was a journey. It was a very, very important journey. I had to, certainly line myself up with, the creme de la creme, and really learning who the fitness industry professionals are. So, like you, I've been presenting for a long, long, long time. So, it wasn't uncommon for me to want to develop a program already. I'd already been teaching and presenting, with my for my fitness colleagues, various programs. But this kind of came to me as a gift, to be
Mm,
honest. My director having a need and me wanting to fulfill that need but also stay authentic to me, and then me realizing, well, hey, this is an untapped area. And so it was a little bit of a rough bumpy ride at first with my members at the gym, because they were a little bit unsure about it. Are you going to ask me to show my belly? Are you going to ask me to dance? Are you going to ask me? So really that kind of developed me as an instructor also, and how where I am today, so I can equip other instructors to know the exact language to win them over, get them comfortable, keep them coming, help them grow, because it took time. It was not easy at first. And that's why, by the way, Rock the Bar came, because if I called it belly dance bar, the members wouldn't come.
I loved that you stayed consistent. You said it took time.
Yeah, it
Listeners,
did.
it takes time. Look, we have a lot of dance instructors, fitness instructors, yeah, dancers. So it takes time.
Something else I want to point to your listeners is listen to your students, or listen to those around you. Don't ignore it. And, it would be very easy for me to say, well, you should all know belly dance. You should all understand it. And me stand on my soapbox. No, that I need to listen to their heart too. I need to listen to what is their needs. It's not about the Soraya show or the Rock the Bar show. It's about, what do you need? And how can I translate this in a way that will make it accessible for you? That's the more authentic, I think, approach, is trying to say, how can I be a part of your well? I know that this is great for my body. Your audience knows, but how can you create something in a way so that it makes it accessible for everyone and approachable?
Yeah, that's smart, true professional. That's how you go about it. That's how you retain people. So, Soraya, did you see a gap in the market before you launched, or are you seeing gaps that you fill now as you progressed your company?
There was definitely a gap in the market. I think for sure, you developed your cardio belly dance program because that was a gap right there, right? And I certainly didn't want to compete with what you already had developed. There was no reason to do it. That already existed. So, there was always different ways for me to kind of re-angle, like for example, we can chat about a little bit more the aquatic fitness approach. How would I, bring all this to the swimming pool? So really it was a matter of knowing that there is a need to continue to introduce belly dance techniques so that it's accessible for everyone. It's a matter of where you feel most authentic to yourself and you can bring it in a way. For my future, I would like to move into a restorative Raqisa design, something that will also continue. This will age with me, Raq The Barre, but I want to continue to have designs that will also continue to age with me into senior citizen years, my more mature years, not my
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Your kick-ass years. That's what I like to say. So you have Raqisa, that is your company, and you've got Raq the Bar as one of your offerings. And soon there will be more. Yeah, looking forward to that, Soraya. So, Soraya, this is a hard one because I feel like dancers, fitness people, I think we are great entrepreneurs. I think we're very driven. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Yep.
talk about that. All right. If
Yeah.
she made a little face, she's like,
I
okay.
made a face. I'm waiting for where this is going. I want to continue with you,
Okay.
and then I'll see if my face matched what you were just saying. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. Um, were there any like, oh shit, I can't do this moments to like, where do I start?
A ton. Oh my word. A ton. Oh my word. In fact, it was really fun talking with my husband about this because he was helping me relive it. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to almost push delete, done, over. I can't, a ton. Okay, so something that maybe a lot of your listeners don't know is that I designed a patented, fitness mat, or the design on the mat is patented. So it's an actual visual aid. So really, the Raqisa program really started with that. The Raqisa program was really meant to share with the world of fitness a way to demystify what belly dancing is. So it has, if you're a trained belly dancer and you were to look at this mat, you would go, oh, get it. Every trained belly dancer gets it. So that was a big project right there. I knew what I wanted the design to be. Um, I wasn't concerned about the design. I even hired a professional graphic designer. She happens to be a yoga professional, so she kind of understood where I was going. She happens to be Palestinian, so she knew how to bring the Oriental flair to it. I'm proud of it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So that building the product itself with the Raqasa posture plate, with the loop band and a ball, because I wanted it to be a part of the bar program as well, was a big undertaking. It's coming from a background of theater art. But if I can do it, you can do it, is what I want everyone to know. Will you go in kicking and screaming and crying at times? Absolutely. Will you want to just say, delete, done, I can't? Absolutely. And what I was even sharing with my husband this morning is I was like, it's so funny, even through all those times, something in me just didn't want to give up. Something in me just said, no, just keep going. Even if it's just one day at a time, one foot forward, just keep your finger in the pie. Don't take it off. You can't, you just can't, you know? So, and when I say, big undertaking, I mean, I had it designed, I had it shipped from, and delivered, packaged. That was big. I think Ori, I had shared with you that my big picture was that this was going to be in Target and that everybody was going to understand and learn belly dancing as a fitness program, that it's going to be the solution to everyone's world, and everyone's going to be happy. But I'm a one woman show, so really trying to take it on by myself, and coupled with, a lot of hiccups in, my husband's health and, things like that. I wanted to pay for everything myself. I didn't want to take out loans. I didn't want to do anything that was going to take away from my family. That was my feeling. I felt like, okay, if I'm in this, I'm doing this. I'm making the money and saving it, not taking away from the family. I'm responsible. So if I lose it, it doesn't affect the family. That was how I felt.
Nice. You got guts, girl.
Thank you.
Ah. Now, okay, so you created this beautiful package, but like, where did you start? Like, did you have a mentor who helped you? Like, who do you call? Can you make this for me? Like, where do you start?
Yeah, yeah. I think the business end, I think the design and creative part was not so much hard, or the hardest part, I would say. I would say the business part. So, very early on, because I studied theater arts for my bachelor's and my master's, and I'm very much learning as I go as far as business goes. So, certainly a lot of learning and a lot of mistakes along the way. So, a friend of mine that I knew from San Francisco, Lana Chukrif, Lana Jones, married name. She she and I worked together. We would work on a weekly basis, starting with how to build your website, getting a taxpayer ID number, really from the ground up, understanding what you need to have, having a PO box, different things. And I wanted a PO box because I had the product. I didn't want people um, knowing where I live. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But those types of things, and really just kind of like, so when I started Raqisa originally was, bar dance lifestyle. So I was actually focusing a lot more on bringing the authentic Lebanese recipes that my mother had taught me, because I wanted it to be a total encompassing experience, because those that was really appealing for a lot of my particular students. It wasn't just the belly dance technique. They liked the whole, concept collaboratively together. My husband's health, things that, I had to hit the pause button for a while, So I guess from now, 2013 and 2025, it took a long time. You want to definitely continue on if you truly believe in it. If it needs to pivot a little bit here or pivot there, that's okay. I would say understand and know what your why is. Why are you even doing it? Why do you want to do this? Why does this matter to you? If you can't continue to find your why, then maybe it's not for you.
So, you know what, Soraya? I know you started early on like I did. Back in the day, I don't feel like that you can Google how to start a business. What is the blueprint? What's the sequence? I mean, I think now is the best time to start a business. You have all that information out there now.
I totally agree. I totally agree. There is, and so for your listeners, you have no excuse, right?
Right. That's right. Soraya, you're creating this, you're getting into the groove, you're tweaking your format. Were there any non negotiables?
Non-negotiable for me as far as the fitness program, it needed to be an accredited program. I'm a nerd about safety and setup, and really making sure that I'm a respected program. That means it had to be an accredited program. As far as the product goes and everything else, I wanted to be true to me. I wanted it to be a non-negotiable, was that it needs to be me. I am the spokesperson for this, because I know the messaging that I am Rakasa is really what I like to say, and I want everyone else to understand and know the beauty and the heart of the Middle East, her movements, her spirit, in a way that I feel I was taught it, which is with regal poise and kindness and calm and just really intelligence. I'm really describing my mom. I'm describing my sisters. So that was a non-negotiable.
That's so beautiful, Soraya. Thank you for that. And can you tell our listeners what does Rakisa mean?
Yeah, it means dancer in Arabic, in the female tense, a female dancer.
And I want to backtrack just a little bit because I'm sure we have listeners who are thinking about creating something. I want you to clarify that feeling, the thinking, the whatever is in your heart. How do you know when you've got something? So you started to create, uh, you know, belly dance with bar and try to create format. When did you know, oh, I got something. I'm going to now make it a business?
Well, first of all, you all have something to say. Everyone here does. You have something within you that is worth saying. It's your why. Why do you want to say it? That maybe you might want to examine. Why does someone else need this information? And how is it going to help them? That's really what I think is important for everyone. Especially in the dance and fitness community, we all bring something in essence, and the world is big. So, really, it's your why. And just tapping into your who is it that needs this information, I think for me, I had such a big desire to demystify belly dance technique in a way to make it accessible for everyone, and that's why I wanted to print it onto the mat. I'm a teacher, I'm a learner. Even though I grew up with belly dancing my entire life, the very first class I took was with my sister Tanya when she was in law school and I was an undergrad, and it was a follow me method. Just follow me. And I studied theater arts. I was performing on stage in musical theater, professional companies, and I wasn't following. I was like, what the heck? So that was when my why and my need kind of came to fruition. It was like, well, wait a minute, if I'm pretty good, and I was having a hard time, someone else is going to need this. And I really want people to understand this method. I really want them to be successful because I could dance all day and be like, look at me, but it's not about me. If you're a teacher, if you're a teacher, if you're performing, by all means, but if you're a teacher, it's about how can I help you become successful. The biggest problem I had, especially in the fitness industry, teaching participants, they just didn't know how to isolate the hips. They kept dropping their posture. They were moving, everything was moving all over the direction. So the posture plate and the design and the visual aid was very helpful in creating a solution for them. So that was my why. So then putting it into the product, my why was now I want other instructors to have this. Now they can use it as well. I do events all the time, just lecturing and using the product as a visual aid. And I can't tell you, and it's a co-ed audience. The product also does very well, Ori, when a lot of my students will take it to their yoga studios and it sparks conversation because the yoga audience, they have mats already that say place your hand here, place your da 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 da. So they ask, well, what is that? That's in, oh, I want this here in my studio. So it's a great conversation starter. It's kind of like your business card. So really, for your audience, know what your why is, tap into your strengths, tap into what you have to say, what you really feel passionate about, but consider who your audience is, and ways that you can create bite-sized pieces so that they can learn and grow from you.
I took your first iterations of your yoga mat and I brought it
Yeah,
to yoga classes. And yes, it does spark conversations. They're like, whoa, that is beautiful. And then
yeah,
they
yeah.
start talking about it. What
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I'm glad. I appreciate you saying that and chiming in on that because I feel very proud of that. I think it's something unique, and it is actually a direction I probably, for your listeners, I should probably be tapping in more to, certain venues. I'm very comfortable at the Kingsbury Club in Medfield. I probably should be heading a little bit more. I don't teach yoga. It's not something that I personally am interested in teaching, but I know a lot of yoga studios would embrace it and would love it.
See, she's learning just being on the podcast. She's knowing what's next for her. Good. When you finally thought about doing a certification for instructors, was it because you couldn't be everywhere?
It was really because I'm an education nerd. I like to teach. I like to help other people learn what I discovered. I
Okay.
like to help other people understand new ways to move their bodies. And I know it's amazing. And I want to empower other people to be successful in learning how to do this.
So you created a certification not out of a need because people are asking for it, but more of from your heart, I really want other people to learn this. Interesting. I like
Yeah.
that. See, there's different reasons why we do things. Like for me, I created Sharkey because of a need, because people said, shit, I went to this other belly dance class and she couldn't break that thing down, but I got it from you. I know how to do it in the first 3 seconds. Or people were asking for Sharkey everywhere in all these clubs, so I had to replicate myself. But that is great that you mentioned that. There are different reasons why you would go forth with something, go ahead with something.
I do feel that there is, I feel very passionate that it is an incredible wellness solution to
Love it.
our modern day, needs with our
Yeah.
forward inflection world. I definitely don't, I definitely want to be clear in saying I wanted to teach other instructors how to teach this so that their students can become
Yes.
stronger, more fit.
Right.
Um, but I didn't want to close it just to the belly dance audience. So a lot of fitness professionals, like Siri, she's a master trainer. She's learned belly dance through this program, but
Nice.
it's accessible for everyone to teach. But I'm pretty strict about what the method is. I'm very pretty strict about how to bring an authentic flair, but what is the technique? I am pretty strict because I don't want it to be a one hit wonder and sloppy and just swinging your hips side to side. It's like, no, this is what the method is, and you really want to make sure you understand that. One of the biggest challenges I think for a lot of instructors is being able, not just the belly dance technique, but the stamina to actually do the entire workout themselves.
Mhm.
That's an unexpected, surprise for many who try the class for the first time. They're like, I think I'd like to teach it. And like, oh crud, I don't think I can hold a plank this long. Or oh crud, I don't think I can do this long. You know what I mean? And then that can feel frustrating. Does that mean you can't teach it? No. It means you better be great at cueing it while standing up and watching your students so that they have safety and setup.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Your format does double duty. Not only are they getting kick-ass workout, but they're learning some elements of belly dance. You know, and then wanting to maybe learn the belly dance. I don't hear so much people who go into a regular bar class saying, "Oh, I want to go into a ballet class now. I want to learn ballet." Interesting, huh?
Absolutely. Now I
Oh,
can dial this up or dial this down,
yeah.
and that's one of the things I think that I remember Siri saying that she really appreciated about this. She said, I'm not a strong dancer like you are, Soraya, so I'm going to dial it down. I'm going to take the essential components and still teach this in a way that is bar and fitness with belly dance technique. I can dial it up all day long. You could dial it up all day long because you really understand belly dance. So when I'm teaching for my community education, and this is something else for your listeners to consider, is how you ways you can branch out. So if I want to teach in the fitness industry, I might present it one way, but when I teach what I call my meza mix, it's 30 minutes of my rock the bar with 30 minutes of either sometimes it's choreography, sometimes it's just drills and skills for my local community education. I don't want to fatigue their muscles. I don't want to make it so that they can't dance afterwards.
Mm.
I can actually layer more of the belly dance components into the series, the bar repertoire, the progressions, um, because they have drunk the belly dance juice. You know what I mean? They're in it. They're in it for that. So I can bring all my glory, and essence to it. Still creating building blocks, layering, and it's still designing all your major muscle groups. And that's something your audience should be aware of also is, bar fitness classes, you're working, when I say top to toe, I mean top to toe, front to back, side to side, everything is getting foot fitness, alignment,
Mm.
stretching. It's got so much potential to do everything. But you definitely want to understand your general fitness in addition to doing my training. I think strong instructors have a pretty good background with fitness as well.
In your early years, what was the best business decision that you made?
My best decisions for sure was really creating something that I feel very proud of. My best decision was coming up with the tent, the bar dance lifestyle, all as a Raqisa. I think that that was the best decision because it lets me branch out in any and all different directions. And it really is kind of like it says who I am in many ways. So I think that I needed that step.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that was a strong decision to make. I think the the Rock the Bar program, being an accredited program, was a very strong decision as well.
Mhm.
So it's really kind of helped me get in front of a large audience, but because it was accredited, in my opinion, I felt like I had more respect, you know.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, it's interesting because when I did do a bar fitness conference, there was two people I remember at the conference who said, yeah, I kind of created a belly dance kind of bar themed class.
Mm.
But when they took my seminar, they were like, "Oh, crud, this was well thought out. This is like a complete design." So that I feel proud of that. It's an instructor manual, and you know how hard it is to do an instructor manual. It's a lot. If if please, for your audience, appreciate the work that goes behind this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, paperwork, and really it's a lot of thinking and supporting your why, what this exercise is and the various muscle groups it's working. It's a lot of work, right? You
It
can see.
is. Yes. Yes, it is.
So yeah, so I think that made me proud also because everyone felt like, oh wow, this is a well thought out program. This is from beginning to end.
And what is one decision you're like, I'm not going to do that one again?
It's not even a decision that I do feel the product. I don't not want to do it again. I would love, in my dream world, I would love to collaborate with someone who can really help me. I don't feel that I have what it takes right now in my space to help it go where I wanted it to go. I'm incredibly proud, and I didn't I have X amount that I would like to really continue to sell. So for your listeners, if you want to buy one, got a sale going on right now, but that doesn't dilute what it is and what it has to offer. It's just I have to ask myself, where do I want to go? That dream of it being in Target is not maybe what I thought it would be. It is more for teachers to appreciate it, to use it to teach their students. So that shifted. You see,
Mhm.
it's to go to your yoga studios and go, oh, start that conversation. Oh, this is what this is. So it's kind of, I suppose, maybe has changed for that. Um, I do wish that I did more on YouTube and more on TikTok. I do think in the whole social media, that's a whole other conversation. That's its own beast, right?
Mhm.
I do wish I probably did a little bit more. I'm pleased with what I do have on YouTube, but I wish I had maybe a little bit more of a presence. I think that would have helped,
Mm.
be a little bit more with the product, particularly TikTok would have helped me more with the product as well, I think.
Yeah, thank you for being honest with that. So listeners, yeah, be out there, expose your stuff more on YouTube, on TikTok. Video is king, even Facebook and Instagram. I want to talk about, fitness trends come and go. How do you feel that you are going to stay relevant in the coming years?
Let's talk about what was a trend first, maybe for some of your listeners. Um, Step aerobics, so much fun.
So much.
So much fun, but it kind of ended because it got too advanced. So you started off with your basic step, and your basic step was innovative and people were learning. And then over time, people wanted more and more and more and more. And so the step choreography became really too much foot pattern, footwork for everyone. So then the class sizes got a lot smaller. Okay. They were fun for like the 12 people that were really good at it, but not for the rest of the students. And when it started off, it was very, very basic level. So I think a lesson all fitness professionals can learn from STEP is pay attention to, have you lost who your target audience is? And are you creating level one, maybe level two, level threes if you need to? I would say with belly dance formats, I personally would get bored after a while. I would want a level two, a level three, a level four. I think with bar, I have the option of offering it no equipment at all, just a basic belly dance bar theme. I can dial up the belly dance or I can dial it down. So that gives me a little bit of room. I can layer in a lot of pieces of fresh new equipment, especially at the gym. I like working with yoga blocks. I like working with the gliding discs. Whatever my gym has, I know how to work with it. So it keeps it fresh and innovative. I like to come into my classes and say, today's theme is rock your uh, bar burn. So they know that they're going to get a really kick butt class.
Mhm.
Some I'll say today is our shimmylicious bar. And so it'll kind of feature certain components of shimmies in the bar program. Today it's lifts, locks, and drops. And so I'm just, and literally when I come in, they'll look at me and they'll go, "What's today's theme?" Now, this, by the way, is my solid group, but I want to keep them coming. I want them to grow with me, and I want to grow with them. Now, if I were to teach in a dance studio, I would also have to kind of assess, read the room, assess who my students are for this, and ways to keep it, up to date and innovative. So you really want to watch out for those pitfalls,
Mhm.
so that you can stay relevant. I was saying to Ori, she knows that I've been teaching Raq The Barre in the swimming pool. So aquatic fitness is one of my fortes. It's one of my strengths. So I started to translate it in a way. And by the way, belly dancing in the swimming pool for your students is very difficult to translate. So you really have to understand the property of water itself. It's very hard to hold a neutral um, uh, pelvic pelvis. It's very difficult because the buoyancy is ebbing and flowing, and if you don't have already a core connection, so you really need to know how to cue and coach and kind of set them up for that.
Mhm.
You still want to give them the same bar burn. How do you do that? There's different methods for that. So this is one way I would say that I am trying to continue to evolve and grow and provide different opportunities. I was very pleasantly surprised and pleased. One of my students who took my land bar class, Raq The Barre class, took my aqua class for the first time yesterday. Raq The Barre. I call it Raqua.
Ah, I love it.
Raqua.
Love it.
Just so you know. Um, she said to me, I said, "So are you liking it?" She goes, "I have to say, I kind of think I like it better." Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
How you doing, everyone listening? I hope you're still staying tuned. I
Yeah.
hope you're just eating this up because we learn from each other. I want to learn from you too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, Soraya, what advice? I'm sure there's someone who's thinking about creating a format. So, what advice would you give someone who has a unique class concept but just has no clue where to start? What would you tell them?
Well, why? Why do you want to do this?
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going back to that why. You have a unique concept. Do you want this to be an accredited program, or are you happy to provide this, really just as a program that will serve within your fellow belly dance community, or whoever it is that you want to work with? You will get some pushback, so you're going to want to have some credibility for why you're the person to present this information.
Yeah.
If you aren't qualified, get qualified,
Mm.
right? If you really believe in it and you really trust that you're the person for it to create it,
Mhm.
do your homework, do what you can do to really set yourself with success. Get a mentor, find a mentor that's going to be kind to you and want you to be successful. That's not going to, suck from you. It's just say, here's some great feedback that's going to help you progress
Right.
forward.
Yeah.
I know, if I can be honest, I know Tyra, she did the Rock the Bar program. She also did Sharkey. I have said to her on many occasions, Tyra, I think you have a lot of talent. I think that you probably could develop your own kind of format yourself. I know she's an incredible kind of African dance fitness uh, professional in her own right. And so she's said to me, Soraya, you got me thinking, because she's a perfect example of someone I know that we both know and your audience would know. So, hi, Tyra, if you're listening. You know, I feel has everything it takes to kind of develop and create something that would be authentic to her, and she has a lot to say about it and knowledge and information. I'd take her class. I'd love to learn, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So probably a lot of your listeners are in the exact same boat, and some of them may be, not necessarily fitness, but more into nutrition,
Yeah.
in something in this area. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you, Soraya. Well, this has been so fun. I don't get to talk to you often, so I'm so glad that we were able to do this. But Soraya, I would love for you to take us out with our signature outro.
All right, folks, until next episode, go and kick some serious butt.
Woohoo! Nailed it, Soraya.
So I wasn't even allowed to say butt growing up. So butt is a progress for me, just so you know.